Hello, Midnight TCG members. This is Midnight Fox. We're bringing you this week's Competitive Edge podcast. Being that October is around the corner, it's a perfect time to talk about the undead. So this week's topic is zombies as an archetype. Going to be doing what we've been doing over the last few podcasts, talking about kind of what some of our favorites, what staples, what can be broken, best decks and all. But to start off the podcast, I just wanted to go over what we've been alluding to over the past few podcasts. We have went ahead and launched our Relay for Life area of the board. If you click the pink ribbon at the bottom of the board, that's where you make your donations. We have multiple things going on the board. Number one, to show our support for breast cancer, we do have our default skin set to Anastasia, our pink and black. That's thanks to my wife, Miss Midnight Fox. Her grandmother was afflicted by breast cancer, and she was a survivor of breast cancer, but eventually that did take her. This is a cause we do take very seriously, so we are trying to raise funds. There's also, if you go up into the important announcements area, we have our raffle to fight cancer. Right now, we have a Insector Hornet mat, we have a Calcujotter, and I myself threw in a Lost Sanctuary unopened structure deck. We've got more prizes to come that's going into that. Basically, for every $10 you donate to the Relay for Life for the raffle, you get a ticket. And our very own Jinzaki will be doing a live video feed when we go ahead and do the drawing for the raffle. But more prizes to come right now. That's the initial layout. Keep an eye on that. You'll see prizes that are added. Forgot my little introduction of my gentleman before I continue with our Relay for Life. We have tonight Eddie Phoenix with us. We have Jinzaki in the background, but we're going to make him talk tonight a little bit. And we have a newcomer onto our podcast, Takio. Say hello.
Everything is Pyramid Turtle.
No. Hello.
It sounds like one of your dogs is just trying to get into the podcast as well there, Fox, but I digress.
She's in pain this week. Anyways, I know she did not succumb to breast cancer. She succumbed to lymphoma, and that was eventually what got my wife's grandmother. She wanted me to include that. She was a breast cancer survivor, so okay. Make sure I include that and clarify it. Also, we have the Duel Against Cancer, which is a $5 entry, and you pay $5, you get entered. Top prize is an Insector Centipede mat. Second place gets a Calcujotter. All of this is not going to me. It's not going to Midnight TCG. Like I said, all your donations are going directly there to the bottom. Click that pink ribbon. They're going directly to the Relay for Life. The only thing I get is I get an email saying, yes, you made your contribution, and I put in your entries for the raffle. I put in your entry for the tournament, so on and so forth. As far as that, we want to thank E-Roll J for a few of the prizes, the Calcujotters and the playmats. They are our partners and did send those for giveaways. So I want to give a shout out to them. And we also, down at the bottom in our Midnight Literature section, have a donate and tell your story. I was kind of hoping to get donations for that, but even if you don't donate money-wise, go down there and tell your story to kind of show people how cancer affects everyone's lives. Because in some way, shape, or form, it really does touch all of us. So, I mean, this is really a good cause that we're working towards. You can also go on Twitter and retweet hashtag Duel Against Cancer. So with that, I know that was a little bit of a long plug.
I'm gonna remix that dog's howls.
We're gonna
Don't
with that little bit of a plug of that, because to me it really is a big thing. The donating to the Relay for Life. I guess I'll end it out by telling everyone, all my staff wants to see this. So if we do get hashtag Duel Against Cancer trending on Twitter, and we hit our goal of $1,000 to the Relay for Life, I myself, Midnight Fox, will get on YouTube and upload my own video of me doing Gangnam Style. So make my staff happy and let the fat man get up and embarrass himself. So help us to raise funds. I don't mind making a fool of myself as long as it's for a good cause. So
I've done it.
Get back into the swing of things and talking about archetypes. So, like I said, we are going to be talking about zombies this week. So we'll start off with favorites. I'll start that off. One of my favorites, and it's not used in very many decks, is Vampire's Curse. I like Vampire's Curse because of its ability in a Bone Lock deck to be special summoned repeatedly, and unlike Vampire Lord, it doesn't have to be destroyed by a card effect. It can be destroyed by battle. Costs you 500 points. But for me, whenever I run a Bone Lock, it's always a good, easy special summon, because he's only at 2,000. I'm going to save most of the staples for later, because I could go over those all I want. But probably my second favorite, I would say, Soul Absorbing Bone Tower. I love the Bone Lock because just the ability, almost every archetype has cards that you can lock together and they lock down the field. I like the lock ability, but what I love about Bone Lock and Soul Absorbing Bone Tower is the ability to mill your opponent's deck. And with zombies, they're undead, so they have the ability to recycle themselves to the field. So if you build the deck right, a Bone Lock deck can be quite devastating to your opponent, especially if you're playing against something like Lightsworn, which mills their deck. So you're helping to mill their deck if you're playing Bone Lock decks. And as my third one, and this has kind of been all around ever since I've seen it released. I even saw it in the Shonen Jump. Shuten Doji. Love the card. Love the ability. I like the artwork. Plus the ability to remove 2 and zombies and be able to draw, or being able to use that removal ability to get things back. Definitely since I seen him released in Shonen Jump when, what was the Bastion, when he first used it in Jump. I really like Shuten Doji. Just the artwork and the card within itself is just amazing. So I could go on and on because I've been in the game for forever. Zombies are great, but I'm going to list my top 3, those being my top 3. And what's your top 3 favorites?
For me? Okay. Gonna have to say that one of them is definitely Pyramid Turtle. Because Pyramid Turtle is obviously one of the best zombies you can use in a zombie-based deck. One of my underrated ones that I really enjoy, or would really like to see a deck built around, would be Monsieur King of the Skull Servants. Because being able to ditch 3 Skull Servants and 2 other King of the Skull Servants for 5,000 attack point 1-star is just freaking hilarious. And then, and I don't want to go with a obvious, like, one that you can use in almost any deck. So, my last one, I have to say it because it's one of my favorites, Ryukaki. So, that's me, and Jin, you're up.
You're up, Jim.
Pyramid Turtle, Plague Spreader, Red Eye Zombie. I named 3 zombies off the top of my head. What do you want from me? For torture, I tells you.
For those inexperienced to Jinzaki, he's not a usual zombie player, so... But those are good picks. Those are very good picks. So we'll pass it on to Takio.
The one combination that I simply enjoy if there wasn't so much back row heat would be the Spirit combo, which is Spirit Reaper and Spirit... was it Barrier? Yes, Spirit Barrier. Absolutely flawless. I'm done. I don't know what to say. I'm a noob. What do you know?
Seems like the Fox and Eddie are the big guys who realize all the zombies, so sorry to put you guys on the spot.
I'm much more in tune with fiends, not zombies, so I really don't know what to say for.
Well, what about artwork? Do you have a favorite zombie type? You just like the artwork?
Oh God, Plague Spreader mainly. I like that art.
Yeah, I like the ultimate Plague Spreader. Gold looks decent, but nothing beats the original
Ultimate
release. Just awesome.
Come on, let's go outside and party.
And then, okay, well, since we went over favorites, we'll go over staples. For me, I've started to side in as a staple. Eddie mentioned it earlier, Ryukoki. With the emergence of 6 samurais starting to hit big, and with heroes starting to hit big, with
Don't forget spell books.
And the spell book, Ryukoki's ability to destroy spellcaster and warrior types is great. Not only that, but he can also be chaos food, he can be dark arm dragon food, and he's 2,400 attacks, so he's beastly. So, I wouldn't say he's a main deck for everything, but I would really suggest to people to start looking to him as a side deck monster, especially if you have a lot of warrior players who love heroes, who love 6 samurais, any kind of warrior variants. He can be a good side deck item.
And
Definitely, if you're thinking about going to Reggie's or YCS or something, I would definitely side 1 to 2, because odds are you're going to see Chaos Heroes, you're going to see Bubble Beat, you're going to see 6 Samurai somewhere along the way, and that's a very good answer to have for it. Secondly, Spirit Reaper, just the ability to stall your opponent out. Spirit Reaper's been a staple for years, and for a while he was stuck at 1, and then we got him at 2, and now he's at 3.
Sorry.
Stall out the field as long as he's not targeted by a card, makes him a good staple. And last but not least, is my list of staples, definitely Plague Spreader. You know, he's a good level tuner, and he has the ability to be recycled out of the graveyard. So, Yeah, he could put you into some monsters you need, get you into a level 6, and then bring it back, go into level 8. However you want to do it, Plague Spreader's definitely a staple in almost any deck. So with that, I'll pass it on to Eddie.
We're going general decks, correct?
Pretty much.
Okay, for the general decks, I'm going to have to go with Ryukaki. Ryukaki. I don't know its exact pronunciation. But we're going there because it can be Monster Reborn really easily. So really, if you need to mill it into your graveyard, pull it with a Reborn, and then, boom, it's on your side of the field. Going against hero and spellcasters, it really, really screws them over. Gonna go with Plague Spreader because of the obvious synchro ability if you're using synchro still. And of course Spirit Reaper, Good Wall, and Good Wall sucks because of its ability. That's its main big drawback because it can be hit with like Forbidden Chalice and Forbidden Lance. But, hey, what can you do about that?
So with that, Jim, do you got anything to add?
Jim went AFK.
What about you, Takio?
You do forget that zombies do have 4 Monster Reborns, right? You got the Monster... Yes, Book of Life. A definite must in zombies. Don't main 1, don't main 2, I would main 3 because of the added removal it provides against your opponent. Let me remind you, it is a very big graveyard, based meta still, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Graveyard removed from play are pretty much the big thing right now. For years, Konami wanted your field presence to be I would say that was more UDE. Since Konami's took over, it went more to the graveyard and the removed from play. So people are seeing more playability out of what used to be pretty well unusable. So yeah, definitely.
Then with Plague Spreader, you can use it up to literally 5-6 times if played right because of Book of Life.
Anything else?
I was mainly going I know that Takia was talking about the Book of Life for a deck, but I was mainly going with just going. Never mind. Screw it.
You said
my train just really derailed there and just went.
I'm gonna get more into zombie-based stuff when I go into Broken. So what else you got? What other staples do you think, Takio?
Well, besides Plague Spreader, besides Spirit Reaper, and the whole Pyramid Turtle Ryukaki combo, there's not really much more that you can add to that would make it, playable, besides Zombie Master as well. That really can put a hurting on you.
Well, with that, we'll move on to Broken. And this, I'd like to elaborate further what you were alluding to. Zombies, even though they have dropped off, as in being played widespread, are still a force to be reckoned with, as you talked about. 3 Book of Lives, you got Plague Spreader, you've got so much abuse.
Zombie Master,
Zombie World, to transform anything into zombies. My favorite thing is to toss in 3 Needleworms into a Bone Lock deck. My opponent out.
I've never thought of that. That's such a great idea.
And then you special summon it back with a Zombie Master, Book of Life, whatever. As long as you have Zombie World, Book of Moon it, flip it, boom, there goes another 5. And if you happen to have Soul Absorbing Bone Tower out, then you're also getting the extra abilities of how many ever Bone Towers you have to mill an extra 2. It's really quick, it's really effective. Definitely Zombie Master, Ill Blood. He's one of my favorites, running him with Supervise. Mizuki.
Yeah, Mizuki. Forgot about him.
That is why I like Shootin' Doji so much. Is Shootin' Doji allows you to bring back those monsters that make zombies so broken. When you get rid of that Mizuki, when you get rid of that Plague Spreader, when you get rid of any of the things that you're going to remove from play, Shootin' Doji is your answer to get them back and reuse them.
I would only tech in one, though. I wouldn't see him more than that.
Mm-mm. He's maybe one, at the most, two. So
Yeah.
sometimes I'll run two, just because usually your opponent has bottomless waiting, so at least one of them's going to get hit.
One of who?
Yeah.
So,
Shootin' Doji.
Okay, Shootin' Doji, okay.
yeah, Shootin' Doji is awesome, and the good thing about Book of Life with Spirit Reaper is it's not targeting, so you can use that to bring him back. That's just, zombies are very broken. They can be a big headache to your opponents, and I'm amazed that people are not abusing it, especially with the reemergence of Light Sworns and Blackwing
Spellcaster. Yeah.
and Spellcasters.
Oh my god, those are giving me a headache.
Right now is the time for zombies to shine, and people aren't doing it. It's making me be tempted to go back there, go through my collection, and rebuild one of my old zombie decks, because zombies are an amazing archetype within themselves. They live up to their undead characterization in the fact that they can come back to the field in so many ways with Call It 3, Monster Reborn, Shootin' Doji, Mizuki,
Limit Reverse.
Limiter Reverse, just everything that we have to bring things back from the graveyard. They're a broken deck, and if you run them in a bone lock, and you're able to get out the bone lock, which is really easy to do with 2 set pyramid turtles, your opponent's in major trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Zombie,
Especially if they're playing Light Sworns.
that is how I used to beat Light Sworns. I decided to build a bone lock deck that milled their cards too. And it would make so many people mad. And I think it's time for my bone lock deck to come back. So with that, a little rant on broken. Zombies are definitely broken. I'll pass it on to Eddie and see what he thinks is broken within the zombie archetype.
The zombies. Okay. I really, really enjoy the zombie archetype for its unique ability and being able to, just be able to really screw with the meta right now. Because, when you take a look at it, just at the meta in general, you're looking at machines from the windups, dragons from the Chaos Dragons, and, heroes and, 6 Sams in the warrior department. And then, you've got spell books, all that other jazz and whatnot. For the zombies, I have to agree with you there, Fox. There could be... It's one of those things where the zombies, from what I can see and what I can tell, they're a really heavily based skill deck. If you're a player, you've really, really got to be skilled to play them. Because look at all the combos. You've got, Zombie Master, 3 Mizuki, not 3 Mizuki, 1 Mizuki. I'm thinking 3 Pyramid Turtles, which allows you to go into 3 Ryukaki, which you can also go into, I believe you can also go into Despair from the Dark, but I'm going to highly doubt that, because I'll probably contradict myself. You've got Double Cost on, which discards...
I think we're all forgetting a card.
Which one?
Goblin Zombie.
I was getting to Goblin Zombie, actually.
Okay.
Because I'm looking at him right now.
I enjoy his artwork, by the
Yeah,
way.
the artwork and being able to mill one of your opponent's cards. It's weak in terms of power, but if you're just going to go for a straight attack, hey, you've got good power there. One of my old favorite cards I used to use on the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories game for the PS1, I loved using Great Mammoth of Gold Fine.
Which card?
Great Mammoth of Gold Fine. This was mainly during the PS1 era when you were playing, when you would have to take, do crap, like a grass type and or not a grass type, a plant and a dragon, and just be able to fuse for,
yeah, I hated that.
Dragon Bee King. I mean,
So did
for me that game
very
was fun.
hardly resembled Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
I know, but
That reminds me, like Duelists of the Roses. It went so off base of the game that I never really enjoyed it. I bought it strictly for the cards.
That's what I did.
and of course King of the Skull Servants. If you really want to play that card,
That Skull Servants is a completely different way to go.
yeah,
If
that's
you're gonna... Yeah.
that'd be something to where it's like, okay, I'm gonna play main like OP zombies, and then we're gonna side deck into this. This is where it's like, oh, well, wait, where did this come from? Snap! Didn't expect.
Oh,
to
hey,
see
I got
this.
a 6,000 attacker. Hi, how you doing?
How you doing? Bend over. Here's some scrap loot, my good sir.
I've got Eddie thinking on ambi-decking now, see? I told you, it's contagious.
I know it's bad.
So, Jen, what's your thoughts?
He's still AFK.
I don't know.
Oh, welcome back.
We'll pass it on to Takio then.
I've got nothing more to add, because everything that you've talked about, I completely agree with. So, I've got nothing else I can think of at this time.
Well, I think we've done pretty good about mixing it up. We've all got a good grasp on what most of your good stuff is going to be. So, kind of going over to best deck, past or present, I'd say my best deck was my Bone Rock deck. Just the ability to mill out my opponent quickly. It was one of my most broken decks when Light Sworn and Twilight was huge. Because while they're milling their deck, I'm helping them. So it was funny to watch them hit something like I said. I ran three needleworm. So it was funny to watch them hit a needleworm and attack, and then they mill off their Judgment Dragon back when it was limited. It was rather funny to watch that. Wasn't so nice when they happened to mill off a wolf and get him out, but usually I had some kind of answer laying there for that. In Yu-Gi-Oh, you've always got to be thinking ahead of what can happen. So for me, definitely Bone Rock with Shootin' Doji and Mizuki and all running the zombie world structure of that and milling out your opponent's deck, I'd say was my most broken zombie deck. What about you, Eddie?
Never really played big time zombies, but I did it one time by the Vampire Genesis structure deck, and I kind of mended and molded it into a zombie deck. Wasn't my best, but like now I could probably do better. So, especially with all this stuff that's just recently dropped. But I do have my zombie cards sitting out somewhere, and it's just like I could finish them. But anyway, next.
I used to have a beatdown deck that had Vampire Lord in it. That's about as close to zombie deck as I ever got.
Vampire Lord can be quite... It's not as horrible now, but back in the day, he was a beast. Just because your opponent had to rely on using card abilities to get rid of him. This was before we had synchros and everybody was going into the huge fusions and
XYZ
fusions and all that. When he was first released, Vampire Lord was a broken card. Because the only way to get rid of him was Mirror Force, Torrential Tribute, Smashing Ground, Sakuretsu, and then he's just going to come back.
They had to rely on actually killing him with another monster.
I forgot about Sakuretsu.
Oh, I used to abuse the hell out of that.
Yeah, so did I. It's just I haven't used it in so long, moved on to Dimensional Prison.
Remember that and Widespread Ruin for the longest time. You know, for a common, Sakuretsu always hovered around $2 to $3 till they started releasing it in mass quantities in structure decks because it was such a staple for so long before.
And it's still a good budget card if you can't afford your Dimensional Prisons or anything else.
Yeah.
I don't like Sakuretsu anymore because of Stardust Dragon. Because I'm just giving my opponent the chance to negate a card. I much prefer Dimensional Prison over that, and I'm willing to trade off hollows to get generic commons, or sometimes I'll buy structure decks just to pull some of the commons I need out of it. Which is where the Fox gets some of these extra structure decks he gives away in contests. You know, I buy 3 and I only need to open 2 of them, so hey, there's a new contest the Fox is going to put up.
I always figured you had a friend go into a store and pick up the cards, then go in and arrest them.
Oh, don't you know, that story just cracked me up, and, you know, I graded the guy's D. You got anybody who's listening can pretty well know where that D is going to for their grade. I mean, really, you got to go in and impersonate a cop and fakely arrest your buddy with fake handcuffs and a pellet gun and a fake...
Fake handcuffs can look close enough to real handcuffs, and a pellet gun can look regular. It's just, at 17 years old, do you think you're fooling anyone into thinking you're a cop?
Yeah, I mean...
D for dumbass.
Yep.
So, got anything else to add, Takio?
Not entirely. I mean, the best deck I used for zombies was when Trish was at 3.
Don't you love how Konami trolls us with ban lists and to the Fox reprints?
I love reprints. They allow me to play the game for cheap.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do and I don't like reprints. When I work hard at getting a hold of a card,
And then next thing you know, it goes down.
Well, I trade off a bunch of decent stuff for this card. You know, I know where Konami's going, and the fact that they want to kill that second-hand market where they'll send out a box and people buy like 3 or 4 boxes to pull this one card that they're going to make $80 or $90 off of. And if you pull extras, well, hey. And then you got all the little extras in there to go sell on eBay. So they're killing the second-hand market of being able to go and sell it by doing that.
I don't think they'll ever fully kill the second-hand market if they're going to continue to do a rarity system the way they do. They only... Because at first the cards are still going to be incredibly valuable when they're the most potent in the meta, and then when the reprints come along, sure, people aren't making money off of those cards anymore, but they just move on to the next big thing in the next booster box.
It's just like how...
A cycle of 6 months to a year. So if you play the game and you're looking to make money out of it, I would definitely say if you've got a card that's going anywhere between $80 to $100,
sell it right away.
4 months after you've got it, get rid of it. Because more than likely, if it's being played heavily, it's going to get reprinted. That's the one thing Konami's done / not done right. It kind of kills me as a collector because when I do end up trying to sell the stuff, oh, well, it's not worth as much as it was, but On the other hand, it does make it easier for me to get a hold of the originals. Like, I love originals. Anybody listening to these podcasts, I still want a FMR Harpy's Pet Dragon. So if you happen to have one, go
Wait,
take
FMR?
I might have one of those.
I might have one of those too.
I
It
don't
might
think
be out
mine's
my
in good
car.
condition.
I would have to go out to my car, so if you don't mind holding on for a second, I'll go check right now. So,
Forbidden Memory.
So
I'll
I think
be
we've got
right
all
back.
of our mentions out. Do we need to say much more for this cast?
Well, I'm just going to go over a few last things before we finish up the podcast. Definitely check out important announcements. We're really pushing to help with cancer. We've got our topic, fight against cancer. If you can't do anything else, if you can't donate, you don't want to get in on the raffles, you don't want to get in on the tournament, go over to Twitter and retweet our hashtag Duel Against Cancer. We're trying to get that trending. We really want to draw people in because we really want this to be a success. We want to be able to give to the Relay for Life. So far, we've raised $105, and it's only been up for a week. That little ribbon at the bottom is not going away. It's going to stay permanently. We're just pushing a little harder in October because it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Going a little further down, there has been a change to the auction house. We do have a private reserve now. If you're looking to sell stuff on there, it's kind of like eBay, except you will PM myself and SM your private reserve price. Your auction will start out at 99 cents. The seller will have the option, if their reserve is not met, to not send out. But if the reserve is met that they have set, they have to send out, and that will be kept track of by myself and SM. So no need to worry about getting messed over in an auction. Go in there, bid it up. You never know. You could get a bargain. Somebody could have pretty low prices, their reserve price, because they're just looking to get a hold of some money. You never know what kind of deals you're going to find. If you want to see what a reserve is, they have to have it bolded in red. So if you see something in their rules that's bolded in red, that particular auction has a reserve set on it. If you want to cap out at a limit, there's no harm in capping out at that limit and taking the chance of getting something at a decent price that you couldn't otherwise. Make sure you're still checking out our Card of the Week, Worst Card of the Week, Forbidden Reviews. In the deck section, we still have this month's Deck of the Month contest for 3 more days. You've got till the 30th to get those in. All win type in your main deck, in your side deck. Your extra deck can contain non-win type. That is for a 6-in structure deck. We are up to date. If you guys go take a look on our what's being released in the tins and stuff, we're actually getting ahead of sites like Streak. So go take a look at that.
Okay, I'm back.
If you're a good duelist, get in on our Duel Against Cancer. It's $5 entry. Go down to that little ribbon at the bottom. You donate $5. You're in for the chance to win. And you're going to help a good cause. And still some open spots on the board. Card. We do have some trade mod spots open. If you're interested in becoming staff, make sure you're active. Take a look at the site. Take a look at the announcements area where we have the open positions open. And other than that, like I said earlier in the podcast, if you can't donate, go share your story about how cancer has affected your life. And as we've said the last couple times, let's help save the Tatas.
So tune in next week. We'll be talking about Muka Muka Turbo, and we will show you how to be a Bala and make money on Yu-Gi-Oh forums.
I got Ben. How much do you love me?